Hello, and welcome to Real Conversations with Neurodivergent Nick. I have a fancy new microphone that I'm excited about. I don't know if I need these headphones. I don't think I do. They're probably going to die halfway through, so I guess we'll find out. But we're here recording a podcast, and I got to say, I got a haircut, and I feel two ways about it. I I think it makes me look very different, but I don't know if it's me. I don't dislike the haircut, but I feel like I don't look like myself. And that's the first time I'm feeling that since the haircut. I was excited about it, but yeah, now I I'll have to grapple with it. But anyway, I'm excited to be here because I haven't recorded in a while and I've got some stuff to talk about. So, what we're going to talk about today is how my fiance since 2020 uh we got engaged and we were gonna get married, but COVID happened, and then life happened. So I mean, we were talking about eloping to Costa Rica last year, within the last 5 months or so. Now she can't stand the sight of me. Welcome. Within the first 2 minutes, that's how real we're getting. That's what we do here at Real Conversations with Neurodivergent Nick. So let's talk about it, okay? This is how I see things. Okay, just before we get into this, what I want to say is, number one, I'm very happy that I was able to get to where I wanted to go, because I've made the determination now. This is my note to ADHD people. Stop making notes. Only make notes to remind yourself of something. Don't make notes like I was making notes of thoughts. And unless it's something you're going to act on. You know, you're just going to notate and notate. I don't know if that's just me or everybody, but yeah, it's God. I can't take my eyes off the this side. It's so weird for me. I do like it. I think it makes me look thinner. I like that. I always feel like my face looks really fat, so that kind of helps. It's all giving me like an oval head. Never felt like that before. Could give me some confidence. Who knows? See, this is where we go. I could get right back to what I was talking about my relationship, because that's what everything is about. So let's talk about it. So I've been with Jada, as anybody who's listened to Autistic Pod, anybody who's listened to any episode, she's come up. Anybody who's listened to any of my guest appearances, she comes up. But she comes up with very little information, because she wants to be, you know, protected and not talked about, and I respect that. But the way I've been treated, I do not respect. This is what's happened. We were together for 8 years, and we are together for 8 years, coming up on nine. And there were a few turbulent times, mostly because of the way she would react to situations, but I handled it as you're supposed to, not as a man, but as a human being. The funny thing is, let's get really real, okay? We're 4 minutes into it, and this is what I'm going to say next. I believe that I'm the female in this relationship. Not many men would say that. Everything I read about, the way people communicate and the way this and that and everything, I'm the emotional one that is anxious and worried that she's not going to pay me attention, or that's what our relationship has become. She is the man in the relationship, and I'm the woman. I'm the one that wants to talk about emotions, and she's the one that wants to deaden things and work. It's crazy, but that's where we are. And people can take that as they will. I don't care. It's a fact. I don't care how you take it. Some people will be like, oh, that's great, yay for empowering men. Some people will be like, oh, listen to that pussy with no testosterone. Again, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to get into those conversations unless you have medical data to back you up. If you're a testosterone expert and you want to come on and test my testosterone and we can find things out, and you want me to take testosterone, I will. I don't care. That's what Real Conversations with Nick Pagano is all about, is about getting to the truth, okay? So let's get to the truth of my relationship. Now that I've explained to you a little bit of the history, let me tell you that this is the best person I've ever met in my life when she wants to be. Okay? That's basically it. She can turn it on and off like that. And she turned it off on me. She turned it off on me a while ago, and she didn't tell me. And I don't think we're going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite person in the world, the person who today told me, I'll think about what you told me to think about, and, we'll talk about it. I don't believe she's going to bring it up. If she does, then I will eat my words. I will come back on the next podcast and say, I didn't think she had it in her, but she actually, it actually did it. And I'm trying. I'm putting forth my last effort. This is what we're doing. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about my fiance, Jada. There's a podcast episode where you go back where I interviewed my former boss. This is under Autistic Pod. That was my original podcast. So I switched it to Real Conversations with Neurodivergent Nick because it's much more ADHD than it is autism. But anyway. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to have my eyes lower. Somebody told me that. There we go. Now more people will want to watch, I guess. I don't know. Oh, this is my new hat from one of my favorite bands. Free plug, Memphis Mayfire. Awesome band. Like plug, because like 6 people are gonna watch this usually. Anyway, so let's talk about my relationship. Because that's what I want to do, and nobody else wants to talk about my relationship other than our couples therapist, but I don't get to see her for 2 more weeks, so we get 50 minutes to go in and try to resolve this. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Jada. So she loves heavy metal. She got me into heavy metal. Is it not apparent? She thinks this is like a military haircut. I think it's very heavy metal. But anyway, this is just behind the veil. That's autism right there. That's my inability to hide my real self if I'm just talking for fun. And that's what I like to do. I am going to talk for fun. Because why else would you talk? So I'm going to share what comes to my head, and I don't need to explain it anymore. And I've been explaining myself to people my entire life. I always have to explain. I sent Jada a text. I'll read you the most recent text I sent her. Before I sent this, I was like, "Oh man, maybe you shouldn't send her anything," or and I'm trying to, because I feel, I feel like I'm being held emotionally captive. And I know, and there's a lot of this. There's a lot of the situation that's difficult. I haven't worked for a year. I get that, but it's not like we're hurting financially. I had plenty of savings. I had earned that getaway because, like, if you listen to any of my other podcasts, I was depressed. I was suicidal. And that's not something I'd been through before. Jada's been through that all the time. She has lots of suicidal thoughts, she tells me. So, so that is the level of person that we're dealing with here. And I won't read the private note that she wrote me when we got her to TMS. That was very expensive, but we that was right after I was fired. But like I said, I had very good money in the bank. So we made the investment, and it was a huge step up for her. Before that, I had helped her with a drinking problem where she was drinking around the house. Unbeknownst to me, she would drink bottles of wine in the bathroom, okay? And I helped her with this. I'm not sharing this to embarrass her. I don't know if she'll ever see it, because I don't think any of her friends watch my podcast. I know she'll never watch my podcast. None of my family watches my podcast. So unless somebody reaches out to her, and you know what? I would love that. If my podcast reaches enough people that somebody has to track down Jada, my fiance, who I love and adore, and tell her about this podcast episode, and tell her that I'm talking about her, and that it's gone this far, that would be great. Because she doesn't think I'm shit. Everything I've done for her, and she looks at me like I'm a crazy person. Because I want to have open, honest conversation with people, and I respect her boundaries, with her, because Jada doesn't like to talk about emotions. Jada will talk about TV, but that's right. I remember I kind of interrupted myself. I was talking about the previous episode where I had her the one time she came on my podcast because I was interviewing my ex-boss. So Go back to the episode where I interviewed Adam Smith. I don't know what it's named. I don't know. He's a bald guy. Haven't had too many of them on. Maybe he's the only one. But it was a three-parter. It's a three-part episode where it's like interviews my ex-boss or something. But she came on because she was still working at the company, and I wasn't, obviously. I was like, was I still working there? Of course not. But and then when I asked her, this was the question that made her get mad at me, have a huge argument, and get off the podcast. Is when I asked her, "What does bring me the horizon mean to you?" Okay, that was the overstep. That was the thing that was so encroaching on her comfort, to asking to explain a feeling about something. And I think this person deserves love, but holy shit, is that difficult to deal with, people. Other than that, she's a delight. I can't stress that enough. I wouldn't love her more than anybody I've ever met in the world, if that wasn't the case. But there are some real struggles and difficult things. So I remember I was going to read the texts, and I will. So these are I've given you significant backstory. I adore the fuck out of Jada. She is on the fence about me. She's paying for our couples therapy, but she barely shows up. I feel like, I mean, she just holds me emotionally hostage. Like, I have to, like, when I ask her to cuddle, she says that I'm like forcing her. It really seems crazy. We've been together for 9 years, and last year I felt really bad. Let's just simplify it. Let's not use all the buzzwords, okay? I was really sad for a lot of time, and then I thought about hurting myself. So I got scared. I talked to people. I started opening up about what was in my brain, learned a lot of things about myself, self diagnosed myself autistic and ADHD, which I am. If you are an expert, feel free to weigh in without needing me to take a test. Feel free to decide if I'm autistic and or ADHD. I mean, if you don't think I'm ADHD, you're a fucking moron, okay? That's all I have to say. Because you can watch any single one of my podcast episodes or interviews on somebody else's show where I bounce around from topic to topic, and then you're going to say I'm not fucking ADHD. Anyway, you're going to say that every single, and this is the best part. This is so, every single singer that she listens to, that I love and that she loves, and I'm going to list a couple of them because they fucking deserve it. These guys are influential in our lives, okay? Ali Sykes, number one. Chris Motionless, Maddie Mullins. I can never remember the lead singer of Starset, Dustin something. I'm sorry, that's my ADHD. And there's plenty more. There's Kevin from Lost Souls. These lead singers. It's always the lead singer for us, but all of them have ADHD. I don't know if Starsets does. But all the other ones have songs about masking, about hiding your true self, about being true with your emotions, and Jada loves these songs. I don't understand how you can love these songs and not deal with your emotions. They talk about it nonstop. And this is what I've done for Jada for our 9th anniversary in my last attempt to determine if she is too far gone for me to continue wasting time loving her. Because she is a fucking soul sucker if this doesn't have an effect on her. That's my true feeling. I got her a cameo with her favorite singer of all time, Ali Sykes. He's going to record a personal message within 7 days. I didn't give him a great explanation, but I bet you he'll run with that, and I bet you he'll get me. Because neurodivergent people, we get each other. We don't communicate the same way. This is the way we want to communicate, but 95% of the population wouldn't understand it. And I hope Ali Sykes sees this someday. I hope to interview him because I think that he is quite frankly, Not even potentially. In my opinion, he is, whatever that's worth, the best therapist to ever be born. He didn't mean to do it. He doesn't want to do it. He didn't plan to do it, but he is. And if I had him on the podcast, I would not talk to him about that unless he was interested in it. I want to talk to Ollie Sykes about whatever that man wants to talk about. Like I said before on multiple podcasts, even if it's video games or whatever. I just want to hang out with Ollie Sykes because he seems like one of the best human beings on the planet. Not just because of his talent, not just because of his music and everything that it's done, but his personality. The way I saw him take in the emotions at Louder Than Life was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, everybody has their different definition of art, okay? That was art to me. That was more art than the whole show. That was because it was a real moment. He didn't intend that, but he'd understand that. And Chris Motionless would understand that. And Maddie Mullins would understand that. Because these people feel so deeply. And that's why I resonate with them. But I think Jada just hears what she wants to in that music, or she doesn't make the connections that they're talking about. Because I've come to the very recent conclusion that Jada could potentially be one of the women that every single one of these singers sing about their heartache and break, and how, you know, Ollie Sykes has a song called Die For You. And my favorite part is how it goes from I would die for you. Well, actually, my favorite part is where he says, it's something about dying 1,000 times. This is my ADHD. I almost have the song memorized, but I don't have every word. But, I've died 1,000 times or something like that. Oh, God, see, now I'm going to lose it. I die for you. Let me see your halo, even this pain up, prepare to lose. I die for, I cry for you, I die for you. 'Cause a minute then 1,000 times, it's still I'd kill my... 'Cause I've died inside. 'Cause I've died inside 1,000 times, and still I'd kill myself for you. 'Cause the truth of it is I'd slit my wrists, and I'd write your name in a heart with the hemorrhage. Feeling so fucking close to the edge right now. You know it's you I need to kick. You make me feel like shit, and I don't want to die for you. Because that's the feeling that he conveys. And, her old favorite band, Bullet for My Valentine, Your Betrayal, Tears Don't Fall, these are all about women that fucking ripped men's heart out. And I think she listens to them like trophies. I'm not sure, but I told myself when I learned to treat everybody like a Kevin, because that was... Anybody who's seen the show Kevin Can Fuck Himself, my mantra when I meet anybody, if I remember, is treat them like a Kevin. Assume that they're a Kevin, that they're going to try to be charismatic and tell you anything you want to hear, or, be an awesome person, because they have an agenda, until you can verify that it's not bullshit. And sometimes it takes 20 seconds, Sometimes somebody just shares something that's very genuine or heartfelt, and then, the guard goes down quite a bit. But most times, people are just are just playing with you. People are just waiting for their opportunity to speak, because nobody wants to hear what anybody has to say, but everybody's dying to talk. And that's why I created a podcast, because I want to listen to you, but I'm also going to make you listen to me. Maybe that's the name of my new podcast. I'm going to make you listen to me. I don't mind that. If I can remember it. All right, so let's get back to... Do we have to go over anymore? I mean, basically, I've covered it. It looks much better when I get product in it, but I didn't feel like putting product in it. Yeah. That's what I'm struggling with right now. I don't know how this sounds. I hope I'm using the right microphone. I didn't go back and verify it. I'm sure I am. It didn't. Now I muted my mic there. See? That's how good I am at technology. I want to be a podcaster. I want to do this, but I don't know how to frame myself. I don't know what to record. So whatever, man. It is what it is. I would love some help. I'm going to start working a job in a month where I can really hire people. Okay. I can start making good money again, take pride in what I'm doing, really put myself into it because I'm going to be dealing with a qualified product. And hopefully this is going to, help me launch this into a bigger stratosphere. But until then, uh, you know, I would welcome discussions on making this better other than my content. My content is my content, but if you can get me out there more, if you can do whatever, I don't care. Um, so yeah, this is a real conversation with Neurodivergent Nick. If you were sitting here right now, I wouldn't know what to say. Anybody who's sitting here, I would love to talk to each of you. Anybody who watches this, I would love to interview you next. That's where I am right now. I have some interviews lined up. But if somebody would watch this and say right now, hey, I watched this and I'm available to record right now, I would do it. And I'd just be like, hey. And I'd try to make it as interesting as possible. And I feel like listening to me go down on ADHD tangents, especially when I'm being so honest with my autism and talking about good things like I talk about with my rules and everything, I think that's valuable. And I believe that everybody who's watched the podcast thinks it's valuable to a level. And so, why don't we do something with this? Please, I need help. I can't do this on my own. I'm trying to make a podcast. I don't need these headphones in my ears. They're starting to get uncomfortable. I could probably take them out, but I don't want to change anything because who knows what would happen. That's how good I am at technology. I like my fancy mic though. I paid good money. This was the mic that Cam Knight was using, except I got the white one. But that's funny. I just realized that it had nothing to do with like a white black thing, but that's what some people will think. I just think the white one stands out more, and that's how I am. I don't want to blend in. I want to stand out. And Jada wants to blend in, so I don't know if we can ever work. But as I've said on the podcast, and as I would do today, if she said, but this isn't the problem. The podcast was only one of the problems. But the first thing she brought up today when she wanted to throw something in my face was, "Oh, you don't remember me getting mad at you at Rockville?" No, I don't. You know what? I do now that you mentioned it. But all I remembered was, well, the time where you made me so depressed that I was really, crying. Because you were so mean and etc. But most of the time, I remember Bleed From Within and Motionless in White, which I've shared both times on this podcast. Sorry, I'm making crinkle noises right now, wriggling up trash for no reason, ruining my audio. You see, this is who I am. This is an autistic ADHD person, really an ADHD autistic person. I'm an ad odd. That's what I am. But yeah, or I'm an adtistic, I guess. Yeah, I am an adtistic. Maybe that's the name of the podcast, the adtistic. That doesn't flow. The adtistic with Nick. No, no. It should be, but it wouldn't. It doesn't. Doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I've had so many ideas for names, but yeah, that's what I'm going through. I. This is like my therapy. It's really has become because nobody else listens to me. I couldn't even talk to my therapist this way because she would like want to get me on medication and tell me, this, that, and the other. But I could just talk openly and then go about my day. Because I can talk about my emotions, but not have them, rule me. That's the difference. I can choose this instance that I don't want to be with Jada anymore. And I've gotten closer to that line. But I'm still holding out because I don't believe that I would really look for another partner if Jada left me up for good. Just because I have no interest in it. I am not somebody who needs a partner, I've determined. I can have a partner. I love having a partner. But the danger to my fucking uh strength and self-esteem and this is the only thing I have, quite frankly. It really is. This and Jada. These are the things that I have. I have a job coming up, but that job isn't going to mean anything because all it's going to do is make me money so that I can have stuff, so that I can eat well, live in a house maybe, and go on vacations. I mean, vacations are fun. So basically, I'm working to not work. That's what everybody does, I think. That's my goal is to work so I don't have to work. I don't know if that's everybody else's goal. You tell me. Hashtag whatever, something. Work, not work, whatever. Um See, I don't know if am I supposed to do that? Is that anything? I've done this before. I try to talk your language. I don't know what you people think or want. I can only tell you what I think and want. I would want this. I would want to talk. I like talking with people that are like me because we get off on tangents. We talk about crazy shit. We talk about politics. We talk about neurodivergency. We talk about neuroscience. We talk about all this stuff. And I got like experts coming on. I have I don't know. I have people that are interested in coming on the podcast. I have 3 recordings next week. I have 1 recording tomorrow that I'm guesting on. I've had other people that I talked to about guesting, but I only think I have 1 set up. But yeah, tomorrow's a guest. I was surprised she was available that early. I'm very excited about that. I just like talking to people. I'm bored. I'm bored and lonely. And I'm good at talking with people. Once again, let's do it again. Let's pick somebody else. I mean, let's pick Matty Mullins. Let's pick my boy Matty Mullins. I could do Danny and Matt from last night. We saw From Ashes to New, pretty wild. We had bought tickets to go see, obviously, me and Jada. We had bought tickets to go see From Ashes to New, and she was able to get VIP passes so she could get signed up. And honestly, yeah, no, that's one I can't share. That's one I can't share. I'm getting the boundaries now. I'm respecting the boundaries. I have an opinion, but it's too personal. And so I won't share that. But let me just say that it's tough competing with heavy metal. I shouldn't have to. Heavy metal's supposed to be extra. Heavy metal's supposed to be the addition to a relationship. But her relationship, and this is an epiphany right now for me. Her relationship with heavy metal, even though she rarely listens to it anymore. I'm the one that's listening to it the last month since we've been fighting. She doesn't want to listen. She doesn't listen to heavy metal that much right now. And it's because every one of those songs is going to make her face that demons sometimes mess you up. That when you've been through trauma, your brain can be an enemy. And that's what I talk about on my podcast. And that's what I would love to talk to her about. But she'll never talk about that. So there you go. And if I brought it up to her, it would just be like, don't therapize me or da 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 da, something. I don't know. So I mask. Oh, I've been masking with her. It sucks. Not so much though. Honestly, it's not that bad. I don't need to talk to her about emotions and everything to have a good time. But she thinks that's all I want to talk about, and then she makes me want to talk about my emotions because she friggin' holds me hostage. I mean, imagine living in a house with the person that you've loved for 8 years that has said that they can't believe they were so lucky to find you, and then they just turn. And she says it's happened over a year, but I mean, I don't see it. She remembers us fighting at Rockville, but she remembers her being upset with me and it being my fault instead of her fighting with me at Rockville and realizing that we didn't need to fight. But she doesn't think that way, apparently. And that's another realization. That's why I talk on Real Conversations. But I feel like this is getting boring now. I don't know what else to say. I guess this is an episode. I don't know, man. I'm just sitting here. People say they do a podcast and people like to listen to it, and it's somebody talking about their life, and that's what I'm doing. If you like it, do what you're supposed to do. I don't know. Is that like, share, subscribe, leave a comment? I'm not I'm not here to be a personality. I am a personality, but not in the way you want. I'm just me, and that is something that nobody else is. And a lot of people can't say that. And I feel like there's not anybody else out here talking like that. And I have no problem talking like this. If there was, oh, that's right, I was supposed to interview somebody. I mean, everybody's probably gonna be like, oh, what would you say to Jada? I will. I will say to Jada. Probably won't mean anything to anybody, but I'll talk to her legitimately like she's here right now. Well, podcasters, I have a real treat today. I didn't think it was gonna happen, honestly, and I'm super excited that it has. Please welcome to the podcast my fiance and my love, maybe even my wife at that point, perhaps. Dare to dream. My fiance, my wife, Jada. And I would let her talk, and then she wouldn't real quick. And then I would say, so Jada, I've said a lot about heavy metal. I don't want you to be specific, but I know we go to lots of heavy metal shows. What what do you like most about heavy metal? And I know you probably won't be able to answer that. You see, I can't. It's so tried to be as kid gloves as possible, but it would still be too much for her. And you just can't communicate that. Yeah, this is just my recorded therapy session. Do I have anything else to say? If you haven't seen Pluribus yet, go watch that. That's a great show. I'd love to recommend a bunch of shows. The Mighty Nine, if I could remember them all. I've watched quite a few good shows recently. I'm on Black Mirror right now. I know everybody's seen Black Mirror, but I hadn't tried it, but that's awesome. There's a great cooking show from Korea. Whatever. This is what I'd be talking about if I was trying to bring value. Unless somebody was talking about something else. Oh, yeah, I was interviewing people. I've interviewed my mom. Let's see what that is. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to re listen to my interview with my mom and see how much I've changed since then, just a month ago. You guys can listen in too. That's exactly what I want to do. And I might stop it at some point. Maybe. I couldn't remember where it was since in the voice recorder. I think it's one of the last ones, isn't it? Yeah, there's Mika purring. I sent that to Jada. Yep. I think it's this one. Potentially, the ADHD habits and rantings of Nick Pagano. I'm one edible deep. I'm took a little bit about mushrooms because the reason for my life, Jada Owens, decided today that I am not the reason of her life, and so I have been excommunicated. If I had a little buzzer, I would want to do one of those beeps, one of the funny little fucking Chuckle Brothers fucking things on the radio. That's always funny, right? Yeah, this may be a heavy one, folks, but on the plus side, I'm here with somebody that you've heard a little bit about that I was afraid to bring up because she was never a willing participant, and I wanted to respect that. She did come up occasionally because they are. I haven't listened to this since I recorded it, and I don't remember a word I said. She is my idol throughout my life. I learned everything, all the important things, learned about emotions from this woman sitting next to me. She taught me right from wrong from a very early age. I don't remember it, but it is instilled, and that is because I believe that she is autistic as well. So please welcome to the stage Maggie Pagano, my Mara. Hi, everybody. If anybody's listening. So now we get back to our conversation, Mom. So how's your night going? Very good. Why do you think? Well, we've had a lot of interesting conversations. I'm trying very hard to understand what Nick is going through and has gone through. Good start. See, I told you she's smart. See, she's got those nice kid gloves that wouldn't say a word like suicide. Because if you say suicide, not only are you going to freak everybody out around you, but you're also going to get in trouble with people for telling people how you feel. And so then what does that make you want to do, dear viewer? I don't know. I don't think it makes me want to go, to church and pray. Isn't that a nice little clock? That's a nice memory from uh, from childhood. That clock was always there, as well as this fish. You should see it. Anybody who's listening, there's a giant sailfish behind us. Tell us about the sailfish, Mom. Oh, the sailfish. We were on vacation in the Bahamas, and my middle son, Nick's brother, hooked into the sailfish, and immediately thought he was out of his league, and passed it off to Dad. So my husband landed that big sailfish, and it's been hanging on our wall ever since. Excellent. And it is a beautiful fish, and yes. My mom has hated it. Yes, I hate it. I want to get rid of it. I'm so tired of it. Because she likes things to be pretty. She's one of those, what do you call them, perfectionists. Because that would make me potentially a happier person. Maybe that could be the thing I apply to my growth. Is that I don't have to be so much of a perfectionist. Fuck it. I don't care if something's a little askew. I'll save 20 minutes. And with that 20 minutes, I'll go do whatever the fuck I want. I'll go watch one of those TV shows that my sons keep fucking suggesting. But I don't want to do that. Jesus Christ, I can't decide between them. I don't. Alright. I have 50 more minutes of that. I don't know if that was interesting to anybody. I haven't even posted that anywhere. I don't know what I want to do with it. But if somebody requests me to post it, I'll post it. I'll just post it the next day. I'll just have to figure out how to get the recording on, but I'm sure I can upload it some. Yeah, I just upload it to YouTube. That's all I got to do. It'll just be voice, so it might actually go on Spotify. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, so I don't know. I just like interviewing people, especially people that are influential. I think we need to talk about our emotions more. And that's why Jada started hating me, is because I wanted to talk about my emotions, and it's really done a number on me. But I'm excited to get back into podcasts. I'll be doing some new podcasts. I have podcasts recorded that I haven't uploaded yet. But this will be my episode 3 because I had trouble uploading the other episode. But the episode 4 will definitely be interviewing the... I have it pulled up here. Let me see what it is. The name of the episode was going to be Return to Upload. Well, it's... Oh, good job, YouTube. It's still up. All right. The Stories of a Deaf Ex-Navy SEAL Protecting Women's Rights in Combat Overseas. That's the name of the episode where I talked to one of my best friends. Now, Chris, did you know that? Did you know you're one of my best friends? That's how, I mean, he knows how well we know each other. I've interviewed him twice on a podcast, and he's said some nice things to me a couple of times, and more than a couple of times, and I've said nice things to him a couple of times. And, yeah. Basically our relationship. But he'll be the next episode. That's a great episode. It's like 3 hours long. I played some heavy metal that I probably have to edit out, and I'm just trying to share a different side of life with people and introduce them to concepts that may make you a happier person. Because I've dealt with my emotions, and I'm still dealing with my emotions. But here, I have a note that I wrote to myself, which meant a lot to me. If that one, it was... These were all to Jada. I did say I need to focus on me because no one else in my life ever has, other than, my mom. Yeah, I think that's that. I don't remember if that's what I was looking for, but it's fine. I knew I wrote some to myself. I don't think that was it, but I've embedded it. I've already started living it, and I don't need to remember exactly what the words were because I know that I'm down a better path now. And, I don't know. I like looking at my sideburns. It makes me feel like a different person. It makes me feel like somebody who's not, embarrassed about himself all the time. Somebody who has the confidence to say, this is what I believe, and I don't need to justify it. And that's what I'm trying to get to. But there's a lot of obstacles in the way. I'm glad I never read the text from Jada. It's probably too but I mean, it's not personal. It's fine. It's not personal at all. Like I said, I didn't even want to send anything to her, but I said, "Hope your drive is going well. Have you reached your destination yet, or are you still driving? Hope you're not too bored, because that's how I would feel making that drive. My hat's off to you. Obviously, didn't want to say that until you are already near Miami, so that it wouldn't be as bad. And then the drive home, you would have the anticipation of getting home the whole time. I'm already ranting and rambling, and because I'm awkward and I have to worry about what I say, so I just want to make it something valuable. And then so I say, that was weird. That was my weird way of saying, I'm thinking about you, have fun, and I love you. And I haven't heard a response. I'll probably get a response in a few hours. Oh, hey, sorry, just got to the hotel or something. But yeah, it's probably she got it. And she's like, oh, I don't know, because she won't tell me the truth most of the time. And that is not a way you can you can have a relationship. With as much as I love her, with as much as I make it want to, with as much as I want it to work, I just don't have high hopes that intuition is just telling me that someone is not in this relationship, and or someone is not at a emotional level to continue this relationship. And maybe it's me. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe she's perfectly normal, and her never wanting to talk about emotions or discuss practically anything is the best way. But I don't think so, because I'm the one who helped her with the things that I told you about, and probably plenty of other things that I've forgotten. I made sacrifices for her without a second thought. I supported her when she told me about everything she's been through. I didn't judge her. You know, some people will hear that people have been through things in the past and they will start to judge them differently. I looked at her with more admiration, and it didn't matter. It wasn't enough. She still found something wrong with me. And there's not enough wrong with me to justify that. So, see, I don't need to cry. I'm not here to cry crocodile tears to get views, because I don't even know why would that work. I don't know, man. I'm literally just saying the words that come to my mind. And I was excited about my new microphone. Hopefully, it sounds better. Um, and I'll be using it in the future for my. I got a podcast recording tomorrow, and I'm excited about it. So, um, I guess I'll thank anybody who watched this for coming to my live therapy session. This is how my last. This is how my last therapy session should have gone if I was comfortable enough with my therapist. But she wants me to prove that I'm ADHD and autistic and everything. As soon as she said that, I was. She said, "Have you been diagnosed with that?" And that was immediately like, ugh. And I've said in the last episode, I was like, or the last episode, I said in the last session, uh, what, even if I'm not ADHD and autistic, I still have these proclivities that fall under them. You know, it doesn't matter if you believe it, if I have a diagnosis. This is how I've acted for 43 years of my life, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be any different. My brain does not stay in one place. I have a bad memory. I am socially awkward. I am not good at. I don't even think these are on. Uh, I am. I don't know. These all sound like autistic things to me. Well, autistic and ADHD, obviously. Maybe other things. I mean, she wants to focus on the trauma, and that's fine. But I can tell her I could just read her my two poems, and she can know all about my trauma, and that's it. She thinks there's deeper trauma. I've already explained that. The other things, but I was never abused. I was never. My parents did the best they could. They weren't good with emotions because their parents didn't do well with them. So my other brothers, they don't like to talk about stuff either. But I'm deeper in that level, so I talk about stuff. So whatever. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's anything. Whatever. Let me make sure. I think it's just about the window. Is this where it's supposed to be? Is that where I'm supposed to be? Okay. That's what I'm supposed to look like. Okay. I don't know why that makes a difference, but we'll do the rest of the thing from here and maybe I'll get lucky and it'll pick that picture. Yeah, I think I was thanking everybody. Anybody who watched this episode, watched the new episodes, I got everything off my chest. I'm gonna once I close this out, I'm gonna keep thinking about it more. But I felt like recording, and so that's what I did. And I was able to say things I wouldn't have said out loud. I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have, been able to feel like I was exercising. So if this has been entertaining to you and you want to watch more, I have other episodes under Autistic Pod and Real Conversations with Neurodivergent Nick at Neurodivergent Nick at Autistic Pod or at the Real Autistic Pod. I think, I don't know. I had to change it for some reason. But that one's just my old episodes. You can go on Spotify and watch my old ones, but that's what I'll say. And I probably won't say that on other episodes, but I said it here. Maybe I'll say it on other ones. I don't know. I don't have any plans. I don't have any. I really don't have any goals. I just want to make a podcast. That's why when I started this, I just want to do a podcast. Hashtag I just want to do a podcast. I was hoping that, it would strike a chord with people, be like, hey, let's just listen to this guy's podcast, but everybody's got a podcast. I get that. So I came in too late. I feel like I could be a good interviewer. But we'll see. That's why I'm trying to get on other people's podcasts, interview people, and show what happens. And people can be interested or people can't. That's basically what it comes down to. So you decide. I'll stop taking up your time and I'll stop doing the 3-hour episodes because I know nobody wants them, even though, that's not true. I'm going to keep going on an episode if I'm having fun. And you can watch the first hour or whatever. But I'm going to record the episodes I want to record. If it's 5 hours, it's 5 hours. I won't do every episode 5 hours, but I have a 5-hour episode. I was going to record it in this. Let's split it into 5 recordings, but we're going to listen to a little more of me interview my mom. Let's see where that goes. Because I already told her point blank that she's a perfectionist. That's something you're supposed to tell your mom. So. Yeah, it's already gone. Hello, podcast. The pool clean. Oh, I better keep the pool clean, and I have to deal with the lawn, and I have to. Yeah. She likes things to be pretty. She's one of those. What do you call them? I think is potentially a happier person. Here we go. Maybe that could be the thing I apply to my growth. Is that I don't have to be so much of a perfectionist. In fact, I don't care if something's a little askew. Maybe that comes across arrogant to people in 4 minutes, but I think it has value. Isn't value worth more than arrogance? My sons keep fucking suggesting, but I don't want to do that. Jesus Christ, I can't decide between them. I don't know which one disappoints. I'm having to run around. Oh, and I have to keep the pool clean. Oh, I better keep the pool clean, and I have to deal with the lawn, and I have to do this, and which was better, Mom, work or retirement? Oh, wow, that's a hard question. I really enjoyed my work. I was a nurse. I know you did. I was a nurse, and for the last 25 years of my career, I worked in the infection control department at a hospital here in Orlando. How long does it feel like we've been talking? What do you think of that title, Mom? Do you think that's kind of... I like it. Yeah, you like that? Yeah. Because isn't it funny? Because, hey, viewers, this is the first time... Viewers. But anybody listening, oh, does this mean anything to you, Mom? Am I going out of frequency? Can anyone... I'll stop after this. I don't remember what she says. And this is going to be uncomfortable for some people, especially my mother. Well, what are the themes of Avalanche, Mother? Music that talks about positive things. And so you can hide away from any pain we might have. I don't look at it that way. Right, I know, because that's what society convinced us of. Yeah. And I'm trying to tell you through my autistic ADHD madness that's what I see. And, oh, by the way, I forgot. I had an idea earlier that I was going to start calling myself an honorary doctor of emotions. Everybody needs a qualification. If anybody who's ever listened, makes anything tech, drop me an honorary doctor, thing that I said. Maybe we'll do a podcast or we'll work together or something. I'm looking for a group of individuals. Okay. In 7 minutes, I've asked my mom about suicide because, oh, by the way, dear viewers, I was thinking about it again today and I went farther. I think I already said that, but something about that effect. But then I got high with my own mother. She didn't get high, but I got high. It was just 2 edibles. You've heard me on 3, maybe even 4. But let's talk about edibles for a minute. Mwah. Okay? Because
I make myself laugh. I don't know.
Curled up in a ball in bed, crying.
That is correct. Why would I be feeling depression today that heavily if I hadn't had a burnout, a breakdown, a blankety blah? So basically, let me ask you this, autistics, because I feel like I'm definitely part of the conversation now, because I realized tonight that people kind of see me as a little grr. And hey, every autistic will appreciate that, and white people, shut the fuck up. Let's see.
I don't even know what I meant by that.
What was I saying? I definitely got to a better thread, but I forgot the thread that I was going down.
We were talking about you being depressed today.
Yeah, and I was talking about autism. Yeah, I was talking about, yeah, it'll come back to me, because that was a good one. Or I said it.
See, now I've bored myself. I get it. That's why I'm trying to keep it short, but it is what it is. I don't know. I'm me. I'm gonna record this, and everybody that I've guested on has enjoyed it. All my guests enjoy it. I'm a different experience for every person that I'm with. And let's I hope to talk to people that can have influence, because I think that locked inside my ADHD madness and craziness is a valuable brain, and I want to share that valuable brain, and I enjoy sharing that valuable brain. As I said on one of my other podcasts, my favorite thing is to have somebody over for a play date, and my favorite thing is to play with my toys, and my favorite toy is my brain. I love playing with my brain. I love taking it out for a walk. I love talking about fun topics. Either I learn something that I didn't know and put out a message, or I get to share something that I've figured out, or that I do know, or that I take pride in. And that's what my podcast is about. So again, thank you for listening to really the ADHD habits and ramblings of Nick Pagano, the rantings, really the rantings, the ADHD rantings of Nick Pagano. I might go back to that. I think it's just where it needs to be. But to recap, relationship, Rocky, Holly Sykes, 10-year anniversary of That's the Spirit, unbelievable album, Avalanche, helped my depression. It literally, I listened to the lyrics. I used to listen to heavy metal through the ears of my fiance, watching her reaction, worried about her. And a couple months ago, I reached the point where maybe, and I feel like that's what I thought that's what she wanted the whole time. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But I started listening to it for me, and changed how I heard all the songs. I found new songs. I heard new lyrics. I went down other paths, and it was and I heard Avalanche, and Avalanche like washed away a huge portion of my depression, because every word in that song is written for ADHD people. And it's so funny how people say that it's like the perfect depression song, but Ollie said that it was about his ADHD. And I mean, it's both, because ADHD does make you depressed, because it's difficult to communicate with other people who can't stay on your tangents and, don't understand if you get a little hyper, or a little this or a little that or whatever. You bounce around, you don't make any sense, you say something random. I don't know. One of those ADHD things. So some people make careers out of it. A lot of comics, I'm sure, ADHD in one way or another. But it's important to note, here's the little doctoral of emotions thing and neurodivergency honorary. Neurodivergency, ADHD, autism, all of these things have different levels, okay? The brain, as we know it, is so complicated. I have this, I'm not even going to bother, but it's this little thing where it shows like the grain of sand of a brain has like 800,000 neurons or something. It's insane. The different combinations that can happen in our brain are endless beyond the universe. Beyond the existence of the universe is more likely than our brain, than two brains being exact. It's impossible when you think about it from a mathematical standpoint. And so just because somebody says they have ADHD doesn't mean they're going to act like this same person. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Everybody assumes that. They're like, oh, well, I have ADHD and I don't do that. So fucking what? You have a different ADHD. It's not just a switch that says ADHD. Oh, now you can't listen and now you don't have memory and now you fucking will go off on tangents. No. There's like one neuron among the 800,000 that's like labeled tangents or something. Labeled able to package your bullshit. Or there are multiple disconnections of pathways and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, if I had an expert on here that could talk more about this, I'd love to talk about it. I probably won't remember it, but other people will, and they should get a voice. And I want to be the person that can bring that voice to people. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to give the voice to people that I find interesting and then bring my ADHD weirdness and potential intelligence into the situation. That's what my podcast is about. And you just watched one, apparently. So if you did, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, or, go do something else. But, I hope that I can do this for a living because I enjoy it. I hope I can learn the lingo and have fans and talk to fans and do this and do that. Or I don't know if you're supposed to do that. I feel like you do. I don't know what to do. You can leave a comments. If I don't have an email for it, I mean, you can use my junk email, nickp.orlando@yahoo.com, if you want to send me something. I'm not going to open any fucking viruses or anything. But yeah, if you want to send me something because my podcast meant something to you, but you don't want to leave a comment for some reason, you could do that. Maybe we could talk. Maybe we could do something. Maybe you're somebody important that got this and you're like, oh, this guy's real. I'll give him an interview and, let him get some fucking notice because he doesn't know any other way to do it. But probably not. But that's my honest opinion. And thanks for coming to play with me is apparently the sign off. I don't know. It sounds a little weird and rapey, but whatever. See, I would have more to talk about right now. I mean, I can just talk about the podcast and everything and the world but I feel like I just need to get some guests in me. I need to talk to some guests and see where they go. But you can see me on the Alchemists. Where is it? It's on here. Where is he? Dookie. It is. And I reached the. Yeah. At Transformational Alchemy. That's Nigel. That's my interview with him. Yeah, I had fun with him, and I don't know if anybody. It's got 9 views, but yeah, he's a smart guy too. I hope I wish him all the success, and I appreciate everybody who lets me on their podcast. I don't know how to do this thing where I'm supposed to, promote you and share. I wish I could, but it's just not me. I just live in the moment and then I move on. And maybe someday I'll have moments where I can do that, but I seriously doubt it. And I truly do appreciate it. This is my attempt at showing that. if there's specific thing I can do, I will. I could post something on a page, or I don't know. Say this is where I just start going left field, because now I'm trying to worry about living in other people's society. And I don't think anybody who's been a guest on my podcast or has me guested on their podcast would want me to do that. And that's the beautiful thing about that. And so, yeah, I guess that's where we'll end it. I'm supposed to keep it short. This is short for me. I don't remember anything I said, but I remember talking about Jada, that's for sure. She'd be mortified if she knew I was talking about her. But it'd be interesting if it ever gets back to her. If it does, I'll show her that my podcast is not nothing. That would be cool. But I know I'm going to be okay. I know that this will pass, but it's tough with my ADHD nowadays. I feel like a day feels like a month, or maybe a week. But a day just feels like a week nowadays. It's just, and it's nice, but I want to be productive. I don't just want to sit around and watch TV. Jada's out right now seeing her mom, and that's great. I don't begrudge her of that. She's found more autonomy, and I have no problem with that. I like that. I like that but the crazy thing is I think she's found that because of my transformation and what what we discussed and what I would say to her that caused this to happen. Because I made her, I was just honest with her. I just talked to her about her, CPTSD and things, and very quickly, very short information. She, like, one sentence, I would say. I couldn't even tell you what it was, but it would only be relevant as well. It would just be something like she was freaking out over something, and I would say something, and then she'd just go quiet, and then she'd probably have a little turmoil. I don't know. I don't want to give her turmoil. I'm not trying to give her turmoil, but the inside of you is turmoil. What the fuck do you expect? It's another revelation, you know? If you're going to face yourself, you're going to get some turmoil, but now I've just become the villain. Everybody else is a good person except for me, because I'm the person who threatened everything that her, facade that she's built to protect herself from nothing. She's so afraid to share her true self with people, so she just pretends all the fucking time. But that's another tale. I asked her not to do that with me, and she doesn't, but I don't know if that was the worst decision I ever made, or I don't think it is. I really don't, because if she can't be that honest, then it's never going to happen. And also, it's better for her. It's ultimately better for her, because we can see that she is being more assertive, more confident, and everything. And it's funny, I knew it was going to happen. That's where we'll end it, dear viewer. I always told her for years. She would always tell me, oh, what did I do to deserve you, etc., etc. You're the best, da 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 da. And I've said it, a dozen times. I'd be like, no, we deserve each other. We used to call each other soulmates, but I got out of that. Then I called her my chosen one, because it's not like we were meant to be, but I choose her, which I think is stronger. But anyway, see, now I'll forget already, because I wanted to say that, but the soulmates, yeah, I had basically said it. I don't know. I was talking about our relationship and stuff. See, that's how quickly that branch can end. That's ADHD, folks. You ever forget something really important that you want to talk about while you're talking about it? It's not fun. But what can you do? And maybe it's not ADHD. I don't know. It's something. Seems like ADHD makes a lot of sense with it, but still nothing. I got a friend request from, looks like somebody's sister? A friend from my high school, like, sister? That's weird. I'll confirm that and see where it goes. Okie dokie. Yeah. But I was just saying that, it's a nice night, and this is my podcast. I can't do another podcast. I'm like, this is kind of boring. And I was like, yeah, it is, but it's my podcast. So what are you going to do? So I've tried to end it multiple times, and I feel like I have to keep talking, and this is basically how every podcast goes. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But this is my podcast. I look forward to being a guest on other people's podcasts, talking about what they want to talk about, maybe adding on to it, talking about my rules, all that good stuff. I just want to help if I can. I want to share my rules because I haven't seen a better collection of ways to have a good life, especially if you're neurotypical, because you don't have to deal with the bullshit that I do. All you need to do is just find a little empathy. And if you want empathy, listen to fucking Bring Me the Horizon and Motionless in White and Starset and these fucking songs. It'll break your goddamn heart. From Ashes to New, huge one. These songs are so real. Listen to the words, watch a lyric video, and just imagine, have you ever felt that deeply? If not, thank your lucky stars, because it's tough. Most people become artists because they feel everybody's pain, and it is exhausting. And being around somebody who's in pain all the time and pretends like they're not, except when you talk about something real, is the most exhausting. So now you get a little fucking clue into my relationship for the last 9 years, and I still want to be with her. So that is the biggest love letter I can ever write. That's the end of the episode, because we came here to talk about what I'm going through, and that's the turmoil. Do I give that all up? Because there's no other choice. And after I've paid to have Ollie Sykes give us a 9th anniversary message, I'm dying to see what happens, because I think it's either going to be, oh my god, that's so cool, thank you, or how much did that cost? I can't believe you wasted money on that. Or just, oh wow, yeah, that's okay, thank you. I really hope it's the first one. I don't I don't think it could be anything but the first one, but it can be tough because people are complicated. So that's where we are. Well, hopefully this came across on a nicer sound, because I bought this fancy microphone. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you had fun, and look forward to you watching again. Bye, world. Hit me up.